You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire Youth Wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Wanzo.
And I'm your other host, John Paul Leek.
Together we are Raw Break. How's every single one of you, family? It is Wednesday, and it's time to talk about AEW Dynamite, the go-home show, for what is going to be Full Gear, the last pay-per-view of the year for AEW, and probably they're going to try to go all the way with it. They added more matches, like everybody, like Paul always says, like they all have to have everybody in the card, and they did that. There were a lot of guys that didn't have any matches. Now they have some matches. So Paul, the welcome shows is something that is hit or miss. Did they do it for you, or maybe not? They could have done something better.
I mean, I think for the most part they did all right. They did enough to get me excited, and I am excited to see a lot of these matchups. I got to be honest with you. And even Rampage. We got to mention there was a little, that Eddie Kingston CM Punk interaction was great. It was 8 minutes of it felt real. And then, to me it almost made CM Punk look like to be the heel. I thought to me Eddie Kingston was the babyface in that. So, go check that out. But I'm really excited for this pay-per-view. So AEW, I'm excited for Full Gear, like I said. So I'm looking forward to it. I thought they did a good job tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you so very much for being with us. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and keep following us in all the social media platforms that we have. Just like we're everywhere, so just follow us. We're also now on Spotify. If you just want to, instead of seeing the video version, you want to just the audio, please check us out there. Every single video, every single show that we do is going to be there in the podcast format. Family, let's start, like you said, Paul, with the Bryan Danielson going against Rocky Romero, and this was very technical, good technical on the side of Romero, and of course Bryan Danielson, like an American Dragon, also he's a master of the technical submissions, all of that type of wrestling. So what do you think, Paul? Are they overexposing Bryan Danielson, or it was just a good showing for what is going to be the final against Miro at Full Gear?
Yeah, if this was Bryan Danielson in 2005 or 2000, even 10, I could understand pushing him like this. Yeah, you're not going to be like he's an Omega, superstar and he's just going to beat everybody, whatever. But no, this guy's like a legend. He doesn't have, he has more matches behind him than he does ahead of him. He shouldn't be having this many competitive matches, but he does. And then he has interactions like this, which just kill it for me. He sells the gimmick of Orange Cassidy, and then he eats a big dive and everything. But eventually, no, this match was good. He counters the running knee and everything. But Danielson, he gets him in an ankle lock. He kind of, the big stomps and everything. And eventually, what was it? The label lock he did, or what was it?
The label lock. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the ref, immediately it's like it's done. It's like he's dead. He's done. Ring the bell. And you see Bryan Danielson, excuse me. And the one thing is, he's getting a lot of these wins by. He's a babyface, but to me, anybody stomping another dude in the face, unless you're Stone Cold, to me that's a heel.
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, that just don't look good. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, stomp his fucking face in. I'm like, ew, no, that's like a dirt.
Supposedly he does not want to use the same move every single match. He likes to end matches different, so that's why you don't see the running knee all the time. That's why you don't see the label lock. He's trying to give us a different version of Bryan Danielson, but like you said, he's not a clear-cut babyface.
And the only thing I really like about this, and they said it a bunch on commentary, and hopefully that's the main reason. They said, I don't know why Bryan Danielson, accepted a tough match against somebody who's beaten him before, when he has Miro coming up.
Yeah.
So maybe, this match, they made it real competitive so he can go into the thing, being like, oh, maybe he's a little dinged up, whatever. Because I really think Miro should win that. Just to comment on that match. But
like you said,
Miro had a promo later.
It should be how they that will make Miro huge again one more time. So that was a good start for Dynamite. So let's go with Tony Giovanni. He's going to be interviewing the members of the Inner Circle. That didn't turn out to be the case, because as soon as they came out, they were attacked for all the members of the MMA guys. Also, Ethan Page, also Scorpio. So this is Junior Dos Santos taking care of on Sammy Guevara. So you see there was this, of course, a go-home show vibe. So it's the heels have to get over. They have to get the upper hand on this particular show. Even Dan Lambert put Jericho through a table. This is way too exaggerated. This is probably the match that is less exciting for me and for a lot of people. I think it's just they put together this. They grab a group because they have a group that they don't have anything else to do with. So that's why they did it. And of course, Dan Lambert gets all the heat. He put him on the walls of Jericho. So for me, this is not good. And in the end, this actually means that the Inner Circle is going to win at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and a lot of these segments that we saw, you can just, Tony Khan was going by the old wrestling, trope where it's like, the heels get the heat at the end of, the go-home show so the babyface can, get his triumphant win at the pay-per-view. And that's what, we saw in a lot of these. So the heels got heat here, like you said. They're going to lose at the pay-per-view. This really is the match this is when I go get my food or I go take a shit or I go do something else.
Yeah, this is not like what you really want to watch because, again,
because JR said it. If Junior Dos Santos or one of these guys, he's like, if they hit one punch, the Inner Circle should be done.
They should be done. And if JR is already saying it, is everybody should think the same way.
JR is trying to sell it legit, but he knows they won't. He knows they're going to eat a punch, and Hager's going to no sell it and powerbomb a guy and be like, oh.
And that's the problem because, like you said, it's like you're getting all these guys like MMA, UFC, so like the credibility of them should be to the roof.
All the other UFC fighters are probably going to laugh at him. They'll be like, you look like bullshit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you did this pro wrestling thing because they know it's just, rehearsed. Pretty much. So like we gotta call it for what it is. But I mean that's why I have no interest into this match. No. So we'll see what happens. It's fine. So let's go with 6-man women tag, and we get to see Hayter going also with, of course, Reba and Dr. Britt Baker DMD going against Thunder Rosa, Tay Conti, and also Anna Jay. This was just why. Same thing that we just talked about like a few seconds ago. Is just to put over the baby faces in this case. In the other case, it was just the heels, so the baby faces can win at the pay-per-view. Here, also the baby faces get the win, but DMD, Dr. Britt Baker is going to retain the championship. Tay Conti looks decent, strong. She needs to look that way. Why? So we believe that she has an opportunity at the pay-per-view. What did you think? I have a great picture for you, Paul, right there. Tell me that that's not a lot of cake right there.
Yeah, I mean, hey, and I like my sweets, so that's perfect. But the more cake, the better. 2 slices, please. But
that's yes.
The thing is, I mean, I agree with exactly what you said. There's nothing else really to add. Tay Conti got the pin. She looks strong, dominant going into the match against Britt Baker. I think they're going to put on a decent match. But the only person who's taken that title off of Britt Baker, was the other woman in this match. Thunder Rosa. So
Thunder Rosa, like you said, that's the main woman that they're going to try to portray. So that's why they did this. We'll see what happens at the pay-per-view, but we know most likely there's not going to be a title switch when it comes into the women's division. And talking about the women's division one more time, we got to get a promo by Ruby Soho because she's going to be fighting against Chris Statlander. And she had a promo by for the TFC Championship. Statlander did another also promo, like the most dangerous woman in the universe or something like that. Nobody believes that, and you said it. Ruby Soho needs to win, maybe the title or at least go into the finals. But Statlander, like all the stocks that they have, all the excitement, everything has gone down ever since she joined the Best Friends. At least for me, but they both got decent promos.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Like, to me, again, Thunder Rosa should be the babyface to win the women's championship, and I think for the TBS championship, you got to legitimize Ruby Soho because she was so over when she came in and they made all this big deal. And it's just like, is she actually legit or are we just saying she's legit because she came from WWE? If you want to legitimize her, put that belt on her, let her have a couple week reign, and which heel can take it off her, and then you can build up another babyface. Serena Deeb. She just turned heel. She looks good. She could come in, take that belt from Ruby Soho, and then you can build up another baby.
And that's what they need to do, This belt needs to be as important as like the women's division, as because like you said, it's going to be TNT is one thing, TMC or TBS is going to be another different. We'll see what they do, but it's important, like you said, like Serena Deeb reserves an opportunity. Other women need to be featured, so it's not the same 4 or 5 that we've seen throughout this AEW run. So let's talk about, like we said right here, also Jungle Boy going against Anthony Bowens, one of the members of the Acclaim. Pretty contested match. Bowens didn't do that bad, but in the end, they're trying to what? Again, Jungle Boy is the main dude. That like every single one, even Anna Jay is trying to push Jungle Boy, and that's what they did. Gets the finger right there. This is a great picture. In the end, he gets the win with the submission hold, but we get to see the attack from Bobby Fish. So he's trying to join one more time Adam Cole and the members of the Elite or the Super Clique right now, and this is good because, Bobby Fish is a great wrestler, but character-wise, what can you do with the guy? Can he really talk? Can he be on his own? I don't know. The best or the most logical thing is to put him next to a guy that made him a superstar, and that's Adam Cole. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the match itself, to me, I was like, this is just a match to feature Jungle Boy in the go-home show, everything, have him look strong. and to just kill time on the show, because obviously you can't have too many big matches on this. You're saving them for the pay-per-view. And no, but I liked everything with Bobby Fish and all this, and like we're going to talk about in a little bit, his promo with Adam Cole and everything. They're really setting it up. They even dropped the name, Undisputed and stuff, they said. And you know whose contract's up in December, and I'm sorry, he probably is going to say, Von Wagner, buddy, it's nothing personal, but goodbye.
Yeah,
Kyle O'Reilly. He's out of there. It's because it's done. He knows. It's like they pretty much said, hey, Kyle, you don't have to stay, but you don't have to go, but we really don't want you to stay. It's like, get out of here. So, he's going to join them. And this is maybe going to be something where, we see, them team up again, O'Reilly and Fish. Hey, Adam Cole, are you going to be with the Bucks? Are you going to be with us? And guess who he goes with? He goes with Undisputed Era. Oh, shit. The Bucks they don't have Omega. They're outnumbered. Who's going to join up with us? Kevin Owens. Or Kevin Steen, and you can do that. So,
and you can exactly incorporate, stories from other companies. There you go, and boom. I agree with you.
That's how I would book the next couple things, because Kevin Owens is coming over soon, and everything. So, I like this. This is good. This is one of the things. Like I said, this is maybe it doesn't have anything to really do with the pay-per-view or anything, but it's like this is good, because they're kind of telling that story because they know Kyle's coming.
Yeah, no, exactly. And also, they're already telling you what's to come. It's like the pay-per-view's on Saturday, but this is what's coming. So, pay attention to this, because this is going to be really good, and that's what they keep doing. So, this is a good part. So, let's go with this one. It was really quick. Wardlow doesn't even really have AEW Dynamite time, because a lot of people will say, oh, yeah, he fights on Dark, he fights on Elevation. Nobody watches that, but at least on AEW Dynamite, probably, 4 matches in, 2 years or something. He goes against Wheeler Yuta, and it was just quick. Wardlow showing his power, his potential. That's fine, and once he separates finally from MJF, I think he has a good chance to be a heel, and a monster heel, one of one Braun Strowman could be, or was, and I feel that this has potential, but they just did this to just do a filler here. Not much.
Yeah, I mean, that's again, I pretty much echo, everything you said, but, I mean, Wardlow, he's a guy who could really get over, and I think, he's a guy who, with the people we see right now on NXT 2.0, he's a guy who could fit in there too. If he would say, hey, they're not really doing anything with me here, I'm not going to renew. Because at some point, when Tony Khan started his company, what he signed maybe 2, 3, 4-year contracts. Some of these guys' contracts got to be expiring, you would think, right?
Yeah, no, there's going to be a few guys.
Yeah, so they might be like, hey, I'm going to go dip my toe in the other pool and see how that is for a little bit. Maybe I'll come back. We'll see. Because they only sign these people to 90 days. So if he sucks, he could be like, oh man, I know their 90-day thing. I'll stink up the joint, so they let me go. I'll go back to AEW.
Yes, it's true. And then, like you said, AEW gives you more security.
Yeah.
They give you a little bit of time, and supposedly they pay a little better. There you go. So this is a really good opportunity for them to try something different and not to be just stuck into the WWE system. In those agendas or those dynamics. So it's just really different. So we'll see what happens with them. Another interaction really, good between CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. War of words, like you said, the 8 minutes of that they have a Rampage, that was probably the best thing that they did on that show. Because a lot of realism, a lot of, really good words between them. Oh, you hated me, you never really wanted me to be there, you never really wanted me to be a superstar. No, Punk is no, this is your fault. You never get to those heights. It's because of you. He's like, I actually thought that you were going to be this big or even bigger, but you didn't do it, so it's because of you. Don't blaming me or anybody else. So good stuff, I feel. He was separated. Even Ruby right there was, going against, trying to avoid Kingston and CM Punk. But this is going to be a good match. And of course, it was a good feud. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, and there's the thing I'm so conflicted about this, because I love everything they've done for this. I want Eddie Kingston to win, but I know they won't.
No.
Unless they do some kind of a DQ, some kind of Kingston or CM Punk wins by DQ because Kingston, beats him up, or there's something. But I mean, I really don't know. Because to me, you can't really have CM Punk lose, but Eddie Kingston, if he loses, where does he go from there then?
Now that's the thing that you said, but it's because I think Eddie Kingston is good putting people over.
Yeah, but he already pretty much said he's not going to win. Because in the promo, he said, "I don't care if I win or lose. I just want to kick."
already.
No.
And you know that, like, because of the absence of John Moxley, if he's not there, then Eddie Kingston is like, because like, oh, my buddy's not here. So I mean, he's a good way for him to be on its own, but it's going to be difficult to still, be.
But to me, this is one of this is probably the feud that feels the most real life. This feels like an actual real life feud.
It's especially because Kingston has that ability to make every single feud that he has as a single guy. He gives that real life vibe.
Yeah.
Remember when with John Moxley, the World Heavyweight Championship match? Oh, I never dated anybody. I'm still a virgin. All of that. About because of what? Oh, because I wanted to win this and bring it to my mom and finally say, oh, I can bang now. So this is good. I like this. It's going to be a good match. Saturday for every single one of you that is asking. Saturday, not Sunday. Saturday, Raw Break Live. It's going to be AEW Full Gear Review. Jean-Paul, myself, every single move, every single match. We're going to be talking about absolutely everything. So let's talk about, Dante Martin and also with Lio Rush going against Moriarty and Matt Sydal. This was just good. And, Dante Martin is good. And Lio Rush just got another opportunity to be a professional wrestler. He had retired. He signed that contract with MLW. But now, we got to see what he's able to do in the ring. Good stuff. But in the end, actually they got the win. So they become a tag team. So this could be, something for later on in the future. Maybe they could challenge the Lucha Bros or the FTR. So we'll see here. I came Mr. White Ranger wannabe right here, but good stuff, Paul.
Yeah, the only thing I would say, maybe the brother comes back and he wants to get in a tag team with Dante, and Lio Rush is like, screw you, go piss up a rope or whatever. And then, the brother forms a tag team with somebody else, and then they end up going against each other, and then Lio Rush and Dante Martin beat him. Maybe Lio Rush kicks the brother's ass after the match, and then maybe then that starts the whole thing, because it's like, oh, you're my partner, but that's my brother, and then you start some whole kind of thing. But Dante Martin is so good, and Lio Rush, he's good too, even though he's sometimes a little crazy, retiring, coming back, and all this other stuff, and he's only 4'1", whatever he is, but he's good as well. And I like these guys. We just got to see where this goes. But right now, it's nothing more than just a mid card.
Yeah, exactly. What can become is the one thing that we want to see. Yeah. What are you going to do with it? Because for example, what they did with this guy, which is amazing, and that's Miro. Like you said, the champion of the God's favorite champion, or something like that, right? So he also got another great promo, just how he uses God or the divinity, the divine, and the relationship with him to make his character look stronger. I really love that. And it's just a promo saying that he's ready to beat Bryan Danielson. Like you said, there's a huge possibility that Lana might be debuting. Why? Because her not complete clothes is already done. So there you go. Bray Wyatt might be showing up.
Will. I think she will, because all of these things he says, when he lost the title, he's like, I can't go home to my wife. I can't bang because I don't have the title. She don't want me no more. And he's like, why would you forsake me? Now I can't, go to my wife. And then he keeps always saying, oh, my wife, I need to return to her, or I do it for her. And it's like, even though he's not going to win the belt here for, maybe she'll just show up. And then maybe when she shows up, when he beats Bryan Danielson, that'll be like, all right, you don't need the belt to come to me. I'll come to you. Now let's go get your belt. And I think, it should be a short title reign. I think he should beat Hangman Page, or maybe even Kenny Omega, whoever. I think Miro needs to beat him. Miro to me is so good. If this is how he would have debuted, he would have been the hottest guy in wrestling.
Yeah, if they would have done it this way, but I don't think they knew how to make him debut. This happened, on the run, while there was okay, let's try to see where it goes, and he was able to pull this off. This is gonna be good. I really like what they're doing, and like you said, the best thing they could do, knowing how popular Bryan Danielson is, and he doesn't need a title right away, but Miro does.
Yeah.
Do it, Daria. Do it, and it's gonna be great. Let's talk about now Pac. Of course, the Brutalizer Master going against Dax. This was a good match. It's just, the feud is a little confusing because there's so many guys, and also the titles are going to be on the line, but it's the Lucha Bros and not Pac. So, I enjoyed the match. This was good, and, got a lot of, the brainbuster from the top rope, and also, you see, this superplex. This was really good, and in the end, Pac ends up beating, Dax with, the Brutalizer.
I like the ending. As soon as he locked it in, he tapped out immediately, And see, not to make him look like an idiot or a pussy, JR sold it. He was just like, oh, he did that, so he, he's not beat up and his, done for the match. He's more worried about Sunday than he is now. And like you said, this didn't make any sense. I know they don't have a third. I guess their third would have been maybe Shawn Spears, but now he's with MJF and Wardlow. But this should have been one of the Lucha Bros. This was like, why did they get a handicap? It's like they send in their third guy to beat up the tag team before the match.
Oh yeah, so like
now it's like the Lucha Bros have like an advantage. So this to me didn't make any sense. It was a great match, but it didn't make any sense why it even happened. Really.
This was like the only thing is like it's a good match and everything, but like you said, it doesn't translate into the feud that well because of course after that we see a post attack, but like this also like guys that I guess are aligned with FTR and Daz Andrade and also Malachi Black, so that will make four guys, and then the Lucha Bros came into the 8-pack, but that will still be 3. And then we got to see Cody join them. So, it's a big clusterfuck. And remember what I said. These guys didn't have matches at the pay-per-view. Who?
No.
Malachi Black, Andrade, Cody. What can we do with these guys? Let's make a match.
Tony Khan was probably going over all the matches. He's like, oh, this pay-per-view will only end at 1 a.m.? No. We got to go to at least 1:30.
Exactly. We're going to make it to at least 1:30. And there you go. This is going to be a match also on Saturday. Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo with Pac and Cody. This is like, this is like bullshit that I don't like because it's just put together just because their name value.
It should have been, I'm not saying you do both of these matches as singles matches. Save one of them and promote like a big Dynamite show. This gives me, if you want to put Cody on the pay-per-view because it's Cody, Malachi Black just lost. I'll be like, buddy, whatever. You don't need to be on the pay-per-view. Sorry. But give me, Cody and Andrade then.
Yeah. And also like, supposedly Malachi Black is going to have also like a transformation. They're going to repackage him a little bit because again, lost. Is because, okay, I understand that you
lose.
That's the thing. It should have been okay. The winner of Danielson and Miro, maybe Malachi.
Cody did the same. He did the same thing, and I know not to talk ill of the dead, but he did the same thing to Brody Lee. He laid down and he let Brody Lee kick the shit out of him like Malachi Black did. He went away for 1 or 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and came back and then beat him. Yep. And then that took away all the guys' momentum and heat, and now we have to repackage him.
Yep. Because again, because at the expense of like these guys, again, like you said, he should have never had the third match. He should have never lost because he will be untouchable and he will still have the streak going on. They don't want to do that. So let's go. What's going to happen on Rampage is Jungle Boy against Bobby Fish. Here, Jungle Boy is going to win because what? Jungle Boy needs to look strong. Also, but it's going to be full gear because it's going to be Johnny Navla, Luchasaurus, and Christian Cage going against the Super Click. Super Elite, so this is going to be that. We want to see Orange Cassidy and Matt Hardy. Nobody wants to see this shit. Sorry, Lumberjack match, absolutely terrible. That's why this show sucks. It should never have this
That'll
show.
probably be the main event, so people will that'll probably be when they have the lowest viewership.
Yeah, and when everybody leaves. Because who's going to want to stay? It's 1 in the morning, you want to beat traffic, you're tired. I mean, as good as like AEW could be, you got to go to sleep. So especially the people at home watching. That's what I meant. The people on Friday night. The people who are in the arena. That arena is going to be. And that's when you change the channel. Nobody wants to see that crap. We already saw it like a few weeks ago in Dynamite too. And Tony Khan goes to go. I don't like to repeat matches. What the fuck are you doing? You're doing the same thing. Nobody cares. So on the buy-in, this is going to be at least for like the master of the cake, Jamie Hayter with Nyla Rose going against Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. This is also put together because they're women that have value, but we don't know what to do with them. And they're like, Tony, we don't have a match. Oh, okay. What do? We'll just put them over the buy-in. So that way, at least they have a little bit of chunk of the pay-per-view. No, you're not in the pay-per-view. If not, go ask John Moxley. You go ask Austin Aries. Oh, yeah, go ask Pac. He was right there. Pac, you were right there.
The only thing I'll say about buy-ins and pre-shows and all that, I will just say it right now for every pay-per-view that ever happens, I am not subject for my viewing is random. I might view it, I might not, because to me it's so pointless. It's like if you're not on the main show, you don't deserve to be on the main show, not because of your talent, but because of your place on the card at this
or your booking. Or like what storyline you have going on in the shows and
stuff.
All.
It's not talent related, it's storyline and
yes,
like that.
Exactly. I agree with you. So that's what they could do. We'll see what happens. Let's go to like the main event. This was actually the War of Words. They were like the beverage of both guys. What like Hangman Page and Kenny Omega had to say, it was really good. And see, when Kenny Omega presents himself like this, with a suit, looking good, like looking confident, looking as the champion, really good stuff. Cowboy shit is good. He mentioned how like the beginning of Cowboy shit was like he was like pretty much saying that Hangman Page has a lot of insecurities, and that will be like the downfall. That's like the flaw that will make Kenny Omega cash in, and then he'll still remain champion. So you see, this is the Omega that we want to see. But then, of course, they have to like add the bullshit. Hangman Page had his promo, good stuff on his end. Here's what it should end. For me, that's when you end it, and then you just cut it over there. Should have been good. But no, of course, you gotta get a cheap shot from a guy that turns out to be Don Callis, all of that shit. And then, I've been from TV like 6 weeks away and all of that. It was just to get ready for this. Kenny, use his blood to make him sign. So this kills it for me. That Don Callis does more bad.
Look at Don Callis' face. He's like,
yeah, right there. I don't know, but like for me,
he's laughing at you.
I mean, the one thing that they say is like there's gonna be a huge title switch. They did say that. Like supposedly that there might be they're aiming at Britt Baker or this. So I'm thinking this is gonna be. Because Kenny Omega has his time as champion. So I feel that like it's this time for Hangman Page.
And I like this because everybody was barred from ringside. So Don Callis, the way he got in as a cameraman was fine. I mean, the promo by Hangman Adam Page was great. When he's like, the one thing that always stuck with me was what you said to me, after our match at Full Gear at the Eliminator Tournament. After you beat me, you said you were proud of me. He's like, I knew that was the biggest lie. That was such bullshit. And then, Omega, after Hangman signed the contract, he's like, and they shook the hands. He's like, I'm proud of you. And then he got that dig in there, and that was good because the crowd even and they wanted Hangman to hit him, and Hangman wasn't. He was like, what, motherfucker, I'll get you on Saturday, like. But then Don Callis, like boom, like you said, if that would have how it went off the air and they had that stare down, would that have felt better? I want to say so. If this would have boom, Jim Ross, tensions, blah blah blah, Saturday or Friday, join us, Rampage, Saturday, blah blah blah, Full Gear. Would that have been better? Don Callis, I don't know. I don't like him, and I don't think many do, but I guess Tony Khan does because that's what he booked.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I mean. I think that like they like to sell that relationship of Kenny Omega and Don Callis. That's like their big thing. That's what they really like to like cash in on that. But other than that, I feel that like it was good. It was a good closing of the segment, and like I said, the likelihood of Hangman Page dethroning Kenny Omega is really high. He has his time in the sun. Maybe he can focus on Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, other stuff.
Before we go off the air here quick, that's how I would do it. I'd have Hangman beat him. Against all odds, overcome, Don Callis, Michael Nakazawa, everybody else, and win it. And then Miro wins. Miro goes, I want my match. Boom, you book that, maybe in a couple weeks, next pay-per-view. I don't know how long you want to stretch it out. But then, there's some fuckery, and you have Omega, and Don Callis. They cost Hangman, to, some distraction, some bullshit in the match. Miro hits his finish, 1, 2, 3, or the game over, whatever, and he becomes champion. But it's because Hangman got screwed by Omega. And then you kind of redo that feud and, continue that on.
Yeah,
that's how I would do it. And then you just kind of
do it.
Unfortunately for Hangman, he'd probably have a short title reign. But to me, it's like Miro's so hot right now. If he loses,
it's hard to come back from that loss.
Like, yeah.
It's hard to come back. So, family, thank you so very much to every single one of you. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notification, and follow us in the social media world. Where?
And that is Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is.